And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Kylie Pierce and Art Pierce, the development director and the executive director at the Rome Capitol Theater, and that's Capitol with an O, meaning the building capital. That's
right.
how you remember which is which. I had a high school English teacher tell me once, all you got to do is remember the Capitol Dome.
That's a good way to do it.
And that's an O, and that's how you differentiate between.
It's now that we're in our capital campaign
Yeah,
with an A.
it
makes
gets
it
extra
more
confusing,
Capital
It
campaign.
gets extra confusing.
Right. In terms of that capital campaign, do you have a date for what you're trying to raise the rest of that money?
Sure. We'd like to do it over 2 years, which we feel is relatively conservative, but it's taken us, gosh, we started this effort in 2009 to raise the first set of money. So we're the slow and steady types. You know, we like to do things well, and we think in the next 2 years, by mid-2021, we hope to have it all raised.
Of course, if you wanted to give us the check for $1.5 million before the show was over,
I'm gonna talk,
take it.
we could take a vacation.
I'm going to talk
We
to
could.
management right after we're done here and see what they can do. They've got the deep pockets. The era of the movies that you like, you're really a movie aficionado. You love movies. What are the area that we're talking about?
I like pretty much from the start of cinema. And honestly, it's developed more, I think, partly because we've been running newer movies occasionally at the Capitol. So I've gone into the 50s and 60s, which are new movies for me, and even some 70s movies, 80s, even stuff like that. But the stuff I suppose that I like the best are probably things from the teens, 20s, and 30s. I think those are my favorite decades of movies.
And the organ, the famous organ at the Rome Capitol Theater, that's still working?
It's still working. It needs a lot of work. And as a matter of fact, we got $21,000 from a couple of
The Rome Community Foundation,
and the Sears
through
Family
the
Foundation.
Stevens Kingsley Fund, and then also the Sears Family Foundation.
Was that earmarked specifically for the organ?
Yes,
Yep.
and work on that is going to start next month.
Yeah.
And so when we use it for Capitol Fest in the summer, it'll be much better shape than it was last year.
Yeah.
And we have the problem of an organ that's going on 91 years old. If it isn't played, it causes problems because it isn't played. If it's played, it causes problems because things wear out. So
Yeah.
it's gotten to the point where we have to put some money into it to, make things right.
Yeah, our house organist, John Paul, has really done yeoman's work being the person who keeps it up for so long. And that's actually how I got started at the Capitol. I was an organ maintenance volunteer.
You mentioned Capitol Fest. Talk about Capitol Fest. When does that kick off?
It's August 9th, 10th, and 11th. We do movies from, I guess we're doing some stuff in the teens, 20s, and 30s, the stuff I like the best, incidentally. But we show movies mostly on film. We do have some digital things that we couldn't get on film, but mostly it's film. And it's silence with organ accompaniment, and it's also some talking films.
And you've got somebody coming in for this that's a special guest, yes?
Oh, we never actually went after any special guests when we did Capitol Fest. Although going back a few years, people would discover that we were doing things. A couple of years ago, Fay Ray's daughter found out we were doing a Fay Ray tribute, and so she came, Vicki Riskin. Well, it turns out her father is Robert Riskin, a famous screenwriter, worked with Frank Capra, did things like, why can I never remember the name of that
Frank
movie?
Capra movies?
Yeah, but he did things like It Happened One Night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Won an Academy Award for that and Lost Horizon. And I wrote a lot of famous films with Frank Capra. And she's coming back this year because she's got a book now about her parents, so she's going to be introducing one of his films. We're doing a tribute to Joel McCrea and Francis D. And their son, Peter McCrea, is coming, and he's going to be doing a question and answer session. And we're also, for the first time in 16 years of Capitol Fest, we've actually got somebody appearing whose film we are showing. And that's Cora Sue Collins. We're showing a movie that she did in 1932 when she was 5 years old. And she's 92 years old now, although in very good health. And she's going to do a question and answer session after that.
It is kind of funny because a lot of festivals invite people in, but ours has just kind of grown organically. We have a lot of people who come who know stars. They've been biographers and things like that. So they'll say, hey, I'm going to Capitol Fest, and did you know this is featuring so-and-so? And these people will just approach us and say, hey, can I come down? And we're like, sure. You
What
know,
does it
it's kinda
cost
nice.
for people to come up for this?
$64 for the whole weekend, right now with the early bird prices. And then we have, it's split up into, I think, let's see, 7 sessions. So you can also go to a day or part of a day, so you don't
Yeah.
have to go to the whole weekend if you want.
Yeah, you can
there's
do it a la
individual
carte.
tickets.
Yeah, we've got 30 seconds, Summerfest.
Summer stage this year, Shrek the
Summer
Musical.
stage.
Shrek the Musical and Mamma Mia are the 2 shows. Shrek is in July, Mamma Mia in early August.
Mhm. And these are young people, yes?
A combination. You know, if the part requires an older person, it's an older person in the part.
Mhm. And the future of Rome Capitol Complex, what do you see in here, Art?
I see us probably increasing the number of shows as we we add another performance venue, and probably increasing the intensity and probably getting some bigger shows as well.
Good for you. Continued success.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for us this week. We'll be back next week. Don't forget cnyhomepage.com. After you go to the Rome Capitol's website, go to that website because there's a lot of good stuff there too. Until next time, take care of yourself, everybody.